Welcome everybody to another edition of the Mind Right Game Tight Show. I'm your host, Michelle Morgan. I am a transformational sports coach, which means I work with student athletes on the mental aspect of being great in sports, but most importantly, being great in life, because we're going to spend a lot more time in life than we do in sports. I'm also the author of How Youth Triumph in Sports, Tools That Create a Triumphant Life. It's a life skills book with a sports niche, talking about all the tools and traits that we learn to be great in sports, as well as using those tools and traits to be great in life as well. And I'll have the information to get the book on Amazon, as well as if you have any questions or have questions for me, you can go to www.bethatesoro.com. Today's guest is Genesis Perez. She is a female wrestler at her high school, and I met her at a Women's Empowerment Expo. And I thought she'd be a perfect addition to be interviewed on this show so that she can enlighten us, but all the things that she's doing and inspiring us with all the things that she's doing as well. So welcome to the show, Genesis. Thank you for being on.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So what is one thing that you feel is something that you want to talk about or share that you've experiencing as not only as a female wrestler, but a wrestler in general, like as your experience as a high schooler?
Well, like a major experience that I've had as a female wrestler specifically is like so many people that I know are really worried about like their body weight and their body image. And I've kind of had those struggles throughout my life too. Like, you know, you grow up reading all these magazines, looking at all these pictures and seeing, like I grew up watching Top Model and just being like, wow, I'm never going to be that tall. I'm never going to be that skinny. And it kind of like brings you down a little bit. But like last year I had this experience where I went to CIF and everybody's just standing around getting ready to be weighed. And I just like looked around the room and I saw all these different body types and all these different girls, like heights, weight. Like some people had like scars and stretch marks and some people had like cleaner skin. Some people had freckles and birthmarks. And I just looked around and thought, we all look so different, but all of us are so strong. And that was just like this crazy moment for me where I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is epic. And it really kind of changed my whole perspective on how I look and how we should all be able to see ourselves.
Nice. And then just so that the viewers know, what grade are you in and how long have you been wrestling for?
I'm a junior in high school, so I'm in 11th grade. And I've been wrestling since 7th grade, but my most recent season was cut short because I broke my fibia and tore a few tendons. So first tournament of the year, and I was out, which really put a damper on my season, but I'm going to start wrestling for freestyle season this year.
Awesome. But I want to go back to what you said in terms of, you know, kind of when you saw that moment where you saw all these different body types and then you saw like the beauty in everyone, some people have freckles, some people have this or that. And how did that make you feel? And how did that turn you into how you look at yourself now?
It like made me look at myself and think like, wow, I'm not as skinny as I was in middle school. I'm not as skinny as I was when I was little, but that's because I've grown and I've changed. And it's less about how I look and more about how I feel. Like, am I eating right? Am I working out? Like when I look at my skin, I don't think, oh my God, I have all these pimples. I'm so ugly. I'm like, okay, I have all these pimples. Am I drinking enough water? Am I eating the right food? Am I getting enough sleep? It's more about taking care of myself for myself and my well-being and less for how everyone else sees me.
Nice. So you already have implemented the importance of self-love and self-worth and understanding like it's all about how I feel on the inside, and then also assessing, you know, what might be happening externally and saying like, okay, do I need to drink more water to clear my face up, or do I need to exercise more? What do I need to do in order to do what's best for me and be the best version of myself? So that's really awesome.
Yeah. And like we see that a lot on the mat where you'll have people who don't eat all day and then they have like an anxiety attack or they like just crash really hard. And our coaches are so good at taking care of that. They're like, okay, go outside, sit down, here's some water, here's some snacks. And they're like, you got to take care of yourself. And that's something that our coaches push on us. And it's something that we learn to push on each other. Like, hey, did you eat? Like we start bringing snacks, we start bringing gum, we start bringing stuff so that we can help out each other, which is really great because you have this community of people who's willing to take care of you and teach you how to take care of yourself.
That's awesome. And that's, like you said, what's most important, like, especially like in a team setting, like as individuals, you guys are all competing, but there's also a team goal and you guys want everyone to get better and improve. And then for order for everyone to be successful, we all have to be encouraging and supporting each other, whether if it's like, hey, you got to have some snacks, you need to have the energy, even just the mental mind state, I'm sure, as a wrestler
Yeah.
as well, and being supportive, that plays a big role, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, my freshman year, we had this one captain named Josh, and he was always like, "We're a family, you guys. We're a family. We're a family." Every single thing, like every other word out of his mouth was, "We're a family," and that was like what really kept me going, because it was like, these people do care about each other. We're hard on each other, and we're literally beating each other up every day, but we care about each other, and it's awesome.
That's great. And so, how'd you get into wrestling?
It's kind of funny because I'm not a very aggressive person, and I'm a very artistic person. So in middle school, I went to the middle school orientation, and they had this Coach Milton was like, "Hey," showing people stuff for wrestling, and my friend and I were talking to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like girl wrestlers, we always need girl wrestlers." And I was like, "Okay," and I brought the flyer home, and I'm like, "Mom, Dad, I want to wrestle." And they're like, "What? You want to wrestle?" And like I played softball and soccer, which are very different from wrestling, and I'd been in plays and done theater stuff. So they were like, "This is crazy." And like I went to the first practice and I really enjoyed it. And my dad wouldn't buy me shoes until my first tournament, because he was like, "I don't know if you're gonna quit." And I wrestled with those shoes all the way up until last year when they were falling apart. So
Wow.
yeah.
So how has wrestling made an impact on you as a person, like not only as a wrestler, but in your life as well, like outside of the sport?
It's definitely helped my self-esteem. When I was younger, like I was this goofy, dorky, nerdy kid, and I got picked on for that. And my motor skills weren't where they should be, so I had to go to occupational and physical therapy for a little bit. And that brought my self-esteem down, because I was just like, man, I'm not like everyone else. I'm weak and stuff. So then once I got to the point where I started wrestling, I was like, okay, well, now my motor skills are where they should be. I don't have to go to therapy anymore. I've caught up with everyone. But then I started wrestling, and I was like, okay, now I'm caught up. I want to push myself further. I want to be better. So my self-esteem, and it's like helped me have this determination and drive whenever I get into something. I'm like, okay, I'm in this. Now I want to be better. And it's translated into theater, into all the clubs I'm in, into all my classes. And it's really awesome.
Yeah, I could tell when I met you and I was like, "Hey, would you want to do an interview?" You're like, "Yeah." There was no hesitation that came from you. Like you were all in right away, and I think that's awesome and amazing to have brought that out of you as well, because, unfortunately, like at one point we've all gone through, a time where maybe we didn't have the best confidence or we doubted ourselves, and it's good to find something that kind of pushed you and brought that out of you. Do you have any mentors or coaches that kind of help bring that out of you, or?
My captain for my first year, Josh, he was just like a really big inspiration for me. And every now and then he comes back, and I always want to talk to him, but I never do. I really should. I should just be like, dude, like you really inspired me. Thank you so much for just like being around. And my coach is, second, I'm gonna switch hands because this one's hurting. My coach, Rich, he's like just really, he's like the team dad. Like, he's loud and he's noisy, and sometimes he's, like, a little mean, but he's just, this team is, like, a huge part of his life, and he's made it a huge part of all of our lives. And, like, whenever I think, like, oh, man, I want to skip practice, or, oh, I want to do this, I just think, well, Coach Rich is really counting on us all. So he's definitely inspired me. And then, like, of course, like, my mom, who's always like, you got to eat right, you got to do this, you got to take care of yourself. And having her just to push me to, like, keep myself healthy at home and keep myself healthy in the off season has really helped me out to succeed in this sport and other aspects of my life too.
Awesome. Well, I highly recommend the next time you see Josh, or even if you have his number, to give him a call or text him and let him know how you feel, because it's awesome to know when someone makes an impact on you, and it's also good just to let them know that they have as well. But going over to, like you just mentioned, you got injured at the beginning of the season. So How has injury played a role in how you also recover, and how has your mindset been towards that? Because you said it was the first tournament of the season.
Yeah, and like I've gotten injured before in wrestling. Not my freshman year. my 7th grade year, I got a concussion at league finals. The next year, I sprained my wrist and my ankle at league finals, which is crazy because that's the ankle that I broke recently. So, like, I'm used to injury and how it's a part of the sport. And my freshman year, my season was ended when I, like, messed up my ankle really bad and I got a contusion. It was all purple for weeks. And I was used to it, but I wasn't used to it happening at the beginning of the season. And I live in Ventura County, so, like, I got my injury and the next day the fires came into town. So I needed to have x-rays and I needed to have surgery. And all of that was delayed because there were these really bad fires that were only like 2 or 3 streets away from the hospital. And my mom was working at this hospital and she would come home and just be like, I don't know when you're going to be able to go to the doctor. I don't know when you're going to be able to go because there's just all this fire and there's all this smoke and they're closing down parts of the hospital. And that was stressful. But afterwards and just recovering and going to physical therapy and stuff, I'm just like more determined to do all my little tasks and do all my things because I want to be in working order for freestyle season and normal season.
Yeah, and your senior season is coming up, you know.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that? Like, what is your preparation in terms of recovery? Like, does it require like physical therapy, like nutrition? Like, what are the things that you kind of have to stay on top of and stay motivated for yourself, you know, in terms of recovering, healthy recoveries?
Yeah, I have to do a couple of exercises every day just to work on getting the muscles to work right again because the tendons tore. So those are healing and just working them out and stretching them out. I have to go to physical therapy, which is rough because I have to miss my first 2 periods of school to go. So I have to stay on top of my classes as well. And it's a lot of thinking, man, I wish when I wasn't injured, I would have danced more, I would have wrestled more, I would have run more instead of being lazy. So it makes me appreciate all that stuff. And now I'm working back towards being able to do all that stuff again. So it's all the stuff that I really miss, and I'm just pushing and pushing myself to get to that point again.
Got it. Yeah, it's unfortunate how sometimes things have to be taken away for us to understand how important they really are. You know, it's the little things. But you are a part of all these different types of clubs. You're a wrestler. You're like everywhere. So how do you maintain a balance with school and the clubs and sports and everything that you're doing?
Well, thankfully, I'm in a 0 period class, which is, it's called academic enrichment, but it's mock trial. So most of the time our teacher's like, are you doing homework for another class in here? And I'm like, yeah. But my 0 period teacher, Miss Adrian, she's really good about letting us print stuff out. Or there's this kid that sits in front of me named Eric, and he's absolutely amazing, and he helps me out with math homework sometimes, or sometimes I'll like talk to him about little bits of my essay, like, does this sound right? And he'll be like, no. So everyone really helps each other out in that class. So some nights I'll come home and I'm like, I'm just not going to do my homework tonight because I know I need sleep. If I try to push myself to do my homework right now, I'm not going to put in the amount of effort I want to put in this like project or this thing, or I'm not going to be focused. I'm not going to remember it tomorrow. So sometimes I'll do it in the morning, or sometimes I'll do it at lunch and be like, look, I need help with this math stuff. I don't understand it. I'll just go to the teacher at lunch and get help then. So it's like, yeah, you want to get everything done as soon as possible, but it's also like you really want to understand it. So with that's kind of my approach to homework. And then with like my clubs and stuff, I'm the president of 2 clubs now.
Which are?
Raiders for Animal Rights, which promotes like we give people a lot more information about like vegetarian and vegan lifestyles, and just like it's not really, there's like so many misconceptions out there, but it's like this is how you would do it healthily, or this is just how you would eat less meat and not contribute to that industry. And we also give people information about like local animal shelters and what to do when you see stray animals, and what to do when you have like extra dogs and cats that you just can't take care of, and where you can take them so that they'll be handled responsibly. And I'm also the president of Drama Club, which just like, we put on lots of dorky skits and sing and dance and do a lot of screaming. That's the best way I can describe that club. It's the best. Yeah. So like with RAR, sometimes I'm not on top of stuff, and I just like talk with my officers and I cooperate with them, and I'm like, hey guys, like I don't have a presentation this week. Does anyone else have a presentation? Or hey guys, can we just talk about shirts this week? Because we still need to get stuff like that done. And with drama club, it's a lot of just putting in a lot of time, just talking to people, which is something that like wrestling has taught me, is just to like work with other people, just talk to other people. If you don't tell people what's going on, they're not going to know. Like if you don't tell someone, hey, I think I hurt my knee, and they go for that knee and you get hurt more, it's like, so you have to talk to other people to really be able to get more things done and get things done in a better way than just trying to like internalize and handle it all yourself, because that's not going to work.
Yeah, definitely. So you're understanding the importance of self-love, self-worth, and communication, which is, huge in everything that we do, right? Because you're saying like if you don't understand something in one of your classes, you go ask for help. Or if you need help with your officers and the clubs that you're in, then you go ask for help, and you understand like nobody can read your mind. And so being in these leadership positions that you have, what is something that you've learned the most about yourself, or what's an area you've seen the most improvement in with yourself, with your leadership positions?
Asking for help. I'm very, very, very stubborn, but I've seen a major transition from freshman year to this year where I'm asking for help and I'm talking to more people and just getting everybody involved, because I like to internalize and I like to be in control. And sometimes you have to give that up to make everything run smoothly.
Nice. And so how have you seen yourself do that?
Lots of group chats, lots of being like, okay, guys, like we had a thing to do for drama club. And at the time I was the vice president. So me and the president couldn't go. And we just like, we're texting, we're calling, we're like, we can't go this week. Can you guys meet up together? And it was like, okay, this is who's going to be in charge. This is what we need you guys to do. Can you do this, this, and this? And all of these underclassmen who weren't officers just like took it in their hands. And we were all really proud of them because they ran rehearsals without us, which is something that we were like, we don't know, but you just got to like believe in other people and give up some of that control and just watch them grow on their own, which is really hard to do, but it is something that is really great to see.
Yeah, I can understand that, like letting the control go. And then you see, you know what? I don't need to be there for everything still runs okay. You know? Everything still goes as planned, or maybe there's some little tweaks and things like that happen, but everything turns out, the way that it was supposed to. And it's like, oh, they did it. Like, that's how you start to let loose of that control and knowing that, things are going to work out. And that's also part of being a leader as well. So that's awesome. So what upcoming things are you excited for that are happening for you?
I'm excited for freestyle to start. I have to take it really, really slow right now. But once I've recovered a little more and I can really get in there and start doing live wrestling, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for this play that I'm stage managing. We just had opening weekend this weekend, which was a little rough. But we had the playwright come over and she was just like so proud of all the actors and the crew. So I'm excited for that because it runs these next 2 weekends and that'll be just a lot of fun. And I've invited like a bunch of my teachers and my friends and my coaches, and some people I'm like, please don't bring your kids. There's a lot of F-bombs. But yeah, I had one teacher be like, I'm going to bring my daughter because her daughter loves drama. And I'm like, don't bring her to this one. Not this one. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. And we just got our mock trial packet released for tournament season. So I'm excited about that and excited to watch some of our alternates become attorneys and watch just people kind of change positions, because a lot of our seniors, we have like a ton of seniors this year. We have like 8, I think, that are all in these like big positions like president and lead attorney and pretrial. So I'm really sad to see them go, but I'm really excited to see all the underclassmen step up into these really important roles.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to, seeing how all that stuff goes. So maybe when you have the summer end and you start getting into your senior year, you can give us an update, because you've already shared so many great, like, just tidbits to life, in terms of like our self-image, something that we all have, issues with. Even sometimes we just look in the mirror like, I wish that would change a little bit. And just knowing that our bodies are perfect and that, we can control it. And there's little things that we can do to, and it's all about the internalized feeling. Like, how do I feel on the inside? If I feel good on the inside, I know I'm beautiful on the outside. So that's awesome. In terms of your communication, and then also letting go, like as a leader, like releasing that control. So there's a lot of different things that you're sharing that are so awesome. So I look forward to hearing all the other amazing things that you learn and get to share as well, because it's not just for you or even just high school students. It's all of us who are experiencing these things, no matter what the age or where we're at in life. So thank you, Genesis, for sharing that. I really appreciate you being on the Mind Right Game Tight show. And before we go, you have to finish this sentence. I am grateful for
my family, both my biological family and my family that I've made with my friends and my teams. Just, it's a great web of people who love and support each other.
Awesome. Thank you again for being on the show, Genesis. Once again, everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Mind Right Game Tight show. Treasure yourself and shine.